Spain is reeling from an avalanche of shocking allegations of baby theft and baby trafficking, recently revealed to have gone on for decades. Graves are being exhumed, their contents exposing the cynical deceits used to trade in human life.
Why was she so cold? She was completely frozen.
Since the Spanish Civil War, hundreds of thousands of babies are believed to have been trafficked by nuns, priests and doctors. I've been meeting the heartbroken mothers, now searching for the children they'd been told had died at birth.
I'm convinced they didn't bury my baby. I have always doubted the boy died. He's alive, in my heart.
And the stolen and trafficked babies, now grown up, who are searching for their biological families and their true identity.
We want to know the truth. I want her to be honest, and I want her to tell me who our mothers are.
While there's hope of emotional reunions for some, the victims are reeling, asking themselves the most fundamental of questions.
Where do you come from? Are you completely Spanish? Are you half Spanish? Are you even Spanish? What are you?
Another BBC story from March gives some background into the practice.
After Spain's civil war, children were removed from Republican prisoners and given to supporters of General Franco's dictatorship. Historians estimate up to 30,000 children from left-wing families were affected. Some believe this political practice then became an illicit business.
Franco ordered the elimination of his enemies, the anti-fascists, dubbed the Reds. Thousands were executed or imprisoned. Their children were placed with right-wing Catholic families or put into institutions run by the clergy and brainwashed with the fascist doctrine. Eugenio Alvarez was one of those red children. His mother died whilst under military interrogation, and his father was later executed. Eugenio was sent to a children's home in northern Spain, where he was brought up by nuns.
The flag of the Franco regime was always hanging there. We were all singing with our arms outstretched.
Falangista soy, falangista hasta el morir o vencer, y por eso estoy al servicio de España con placer. Oh.
Lo siento, Gino. Lo siento, Gino. Lo siento mucho.
They killed me in 1936. Thousands and thousands of children. They destroyed us.
Many doctors and nuns who staffed Spain's hospital in the half-century after the Civil War continued to redistribute children as they saw fit. The Daily Mail explains how. The women, often young and unmarried, were told they could not see the body of their infant or attend their burial. In reality, the babies were sold to childless couples whose devout beliefs and financial security meant that they were seen as more appropriate parents. The story broke when two Spanish men discovered they had been raised by couples who paid a small fortune for them. A July ABC Australia report says when the men went public with their stories, it all sounded frighteningly familiar to many Spanish mothers.
One of the really sad consequences of this whole story is that as it gathers momentum, people that had accepted the fact that their baby had died are left wondering now, was my child trafficked? Were they actually brought up by another family, under another name? And some are prepared to go to extraordinary lengths to answer that question.
The BBC investigation estimates up to 300,000 babies were stolen. For the moment, there's no central government investigation into the crimes, and each case is being handled individually. But many national organizations are working to coordinate efforts, and the New York Times reported in July many criminal investigations are already underway. Spain's judiciary was forced into action after Añadir, an association formed to represent people searching for missing children or parents, filed its first complaints in late January. Spain's Attorney General announced on June 18th that 849 cases were being examined, adding that 162 already could be classified as criminal proceedings because of evidence pointing to abduction.
It's stories like Salvador Martín's that are adding to those suspicions. In 1975, his wife died just after giving birth. Salvador saw a healthy baby girl, but later doctors told him she'd been stillborn. He never saw her body. Last year, tormented by doubts, Salvador opened the family vault. DNA tests have now proved that the child inside was a boy and no relation. So what happened to Salvador's baby girl?
Salvador Martín asked the hospital for an explanation. They refused, telling the 62-year-old that documentation no longer existed.
I was in my early 20s at the time and had complete trust and faith in doctors and Catholic nuns like the midwife. I could never have imagined something so outrageous could happen.
I'd just started a family, and they destroyed it completely. I have to find my daughter, and I'm sure I'll find her. I just want to tell her, my girl, I'm your dad.